Hey lawn lovers, it's that time of year again, so let's go take some soil samples. These are a couple of the tools you might want to use. First, I've got a hand corer here, and you might need a container to put your cores into. And then I've got a hand aerator tool here that you could use. Let me show you how this aeration tool works. You just step it in with your foot. And after a couple of these, the core should pop right out the top. But this isn't working too well today. I think the grasses or the soil is just a little too wet for this to work properly. Okay, let me try this hand corer tool here. Yeah, that works a lot better. You could use a hand trowel or a shovel too. Yeah, okay, here's the top of the core. Now what you want to do for your soil samples is to remove the grass and thatch from the top of it. You'll get better results for your organic matter numbers that way. I'll just remove the top part and collect the rest. Now I'm going to just go randomly around the yard and collect a lot of samples. I'm going to need about 2 cups of material to send in for this soil test. The year before last, I did a complete renovation with Midnight Kentucky bluegrass up by the garage there. This is a new renovation I did this fall, and for some reason a new renovation will usually stay green through the first winter. Okay, jumping ahead now, I did the front yard, and now I'm going to do the side yard by the house here. I'm going to send in 2 different samples, the backyard and one for the front and side yard. Okay, it's been over a week now. Let's get these babies bundled up and sent off. Okay, I've left these plugs out in the garage now for about 10 days so that they could dry out. But now they've gotten really hard. I'm trying to break them up with this trowel here, but it just isn't working very well. I've got a couple of sieves here I can use to separate out the clumps from the rest of the soil. The soil was pretty wet when I collected these. Hopefully this won't happen to you. Now I can work on these bigger clumps separately. I need to find something that'll work better than this. Maybe a brick will do the job. That's much better. Now I just have to get some of these rocks out of there. Okay, this looks pretty good, but there's still some grass in there. There, you can see the grass, but I'm going to have to pick that out before I send this sample in. Okay, let's start on the backyard sample now. I put that little stick in there so I could always distinguish the backyard sample from the front yard sample. There they are. Now I just have to pack them up and ship them off. A couple of bubble packs will work perfectly for this. Well, it's been a couple of weeks now and the soil test results are back. Let's take a look. Here's the printout of my soil test results for my backyard. The results for my front yard were similar. It says that my soil has a medium texture, which means that it's a loam or silt loam as opposed to a sand or clay. The organic matter is 4.4%, which is good because it needs to be more than 2 to 3% for growing grass. The pH is 6.8, which is just a tad high, because most turf grasses grow best between 5.5 and 6.5. Using sulfur to lower the pH is not recommended unless the pH is over 7. Ammonium-based fertilizers can be used to fine-tune the pH down to something under 7. That's been working for me over the past year and has lowered my pH to 6.8 from 7 the year before. And I have a phosphorus reading of 36 parts per million and a potassium reading of 166 parts per million. And both of those are pretty high. I paid a little more money to test some of the micronutrient numbers, and they're good, but manganese and copper might be a little low. Well, those are the results, and here's what the soil testers recommended for my lawn. They want me to put down 2 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet every year, with no phosphate and no potash. Half of it applied in the spring and half in the fall. They say that the approximate NPK ratio for me to use would be a 33:0:0, with 50% of the nitrogen being a slow-release type of nitrogen. That means that I should look for a bag of fertilizer that says 33-0-0 on the bag. Most of us won't be able to find a retail fertilizer product with the exact recommended ratio. We're just supposed to find one that's close. So I use a fertilizer that is 27:05. The label on the fertilizer bag will say slow release or show how much of it is slow release. I don't need a fertilizer with any P or K in it because my soil already has plenty of those. In a nutshell, the most important things to look at are the pH and the NPK ratio, because they have the biggest impact on your lawn and are the easiest to correct. For more information on soil testing and the forms you can fill out to have your soil tested, check out the links I've pinned at the top of the comments section below this video. You can also search the web for your own state or county extension office. Hey, don't miss my next video. I'll be doing my last spring cleanup. In the meantime, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, and then ring the bell that pops up next to it. That way you won't miss the next video. Yeah, you can do it.